This is what it sounds like when your chickens are being harassed by radio frequencies. When their building is being assaulted by radio frequencies. And this has been going on for about 10 minutes. I just decided to start recording it. Oh, and there were trails only above my house this morning. I didn't record them. I didn't have my phone with me. And you can see it's very cloudy now. We're expected to have like 30% chance of rain, like a little nothing burger on and off today. We haven't had rain in a couple of weeks. Or the rain that we have had has been insignificant. And I'm going to show you how directed energy weapons damage a property. I have extremely wet and lush grass. However, the criminals come onto the property and they are deliberately browning out the grass. It's not just browning out the grass, it's radiating the grass to the rock. As I mentioned, I live on rock soil. It's not clay, it's rock mixed with soil because I live on the edge of a national forest and it's rock and I'm on the end of a mountain. So in order to dig up the grass, brown it out, they have to use something extremely hot. Hot enough to melt metal, hot enough to melt soil and rock, to the point where the grass would not grow back again. So these are all the points that have been damaged by directed energy weapons on my property. Here you can see, here's the rock. You can see rock here. All this is all rock. And it's gotten to the point where they have damaged so much of the soil, so much of the grass, that it will definitely cause flooding conditions because there won't be enough root system to absorb the water when it finally does rain. And that's their goal. Their goal is to flood me out. And make no mistake, the local masons are involved. And I can't say that because they give themselves away every day. They leave their symbols behind. They approached me. Look at, I mean, is this normal? Look at this. The ground is cracking. I live in a very wet environment all the time. I wake up here in the morning and I walk on wet grass. There's absolutely no reason, even without having rain, for my ground to be cracking. Oh, and isn't this bizarre? This is why the plausible deniability, they want to make you appear like you're crazy. Now, when it rains, the water comes down here, obviously. So this would be one of the wettest spots and probably one of the greener spots. But what the criminals do is they completely browned out the grass here. Right, guys? They completely browned out. This was all covered in grass. And they browned it out. Browned it out. Here. It's all over. It's in the outer fields. It's in the upper fields. It's everywhere. They have created caverns, holes. I didn't get a chance yesterday. It's just too overwhelming how much damage has been done here. And yes, thank you, subscriber and targeted female friend, for letting me know or confirming that the Army training is involved in targeting me. Well, I'm going to give a shout out to the fucking Army. You don't have permission to be on my property. I do not consent. And stay off of my land. Because you are, if you are in fact targeting my property, when I have time, you'll receive a cease and desist letter. So stay off my property. You do not have permission to train on my property. You want to train somewhere? My neighbor's got twice as much acreage as me. Go train over there. Why don't you go train on their property across the street? You're going to harass me, a 67-year-old woman? At this stage of my life, I should be happy and retiring and enjoying my life. Instead, between the FBI in New Jersey, the Manalapan, New Jersey corrupt police department, who has more money than God, moving to rural Kentucky where I know nobody, have neighbors that are psychopaths, greedy gift card whores. And how do I know? Can I confirm that it's the Army? Because I actually snapped a photo. And I'm going to say this was in 2022. There was a retired Army guy that drove down the county road here. And this is what they do. They pretend to be performing a U-turn. But when they perform their bogus U-turn in my driveway, they always manage to go back in the same direction that they were pointed to in the first place. So it's not as if they've made a mistake and having to turn around and go back somewhere else. No, they purposely pull into my driveway. He pulled out, and I have it photographed. His license plate said U.S. Army retired. Yeah. It was a guy, I'm going to say in his 60s, and he had a little dog. I guess he's supposed to appear to be like a nice person because he's got a little dog with him. But any retired military person that stalks women is depraved and sick. When you retire, you're no longer an order taker. You should have developed some morality and consciousness, some code of ethics. But if that's the way they train you in the military, then why are we supporting the military in this country? Why? And Karen Stewart said it so succinctly, that with these fusion centers and Homeland Security and all these operatives and stuff, and she wrote this back in 2018 and nothing has changed. Has the FBI or Homeland Security prevented one? Have they prevented one mass shooting? Have they prevented one attempted assassination? Have they attempted anything? No. Charlie Kirk is case in point. How about the assassination attempt on our president? Some people will say it's a psychological operation. Other people will say, well, there are 2, 3 shooters, just like with JFK. So please tell me why we're funding the Department of Defense. Tell me why we're funding the FBI. Why are we funding Homeland Security and fusion centers if they can't prevent one terrorist attack? They can't prevent one. Not even one. And if I'm wrong, please leave a comment down below. Can you please tell me which ones have been prevented in, let's say, the last 10 years? Please. Educate me. I'm not a political person. I don't follow this stuff. I'm a targeted person, so I'm more aware of it than I would normally have been. But please tell me, why are we funding these agencies that do nothing but terrorize normal, regular citizens going about their daily business? Tell me why. Why are they targeting school protesters? Why are they targeting single women? 70 to 72% women. Tell me why. Oh, yeah, because if they targeted 72% of the men, there would be a higher statistical probability of one of those 72% men to off one of the people that are targeting them. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, the little weenie boys, they got to target women. The little weenies have to target women. And in the video that I posted yesterday, the long testimony of Mariana Maritata, she so succinctly and accurately described what was happening to her and how it overreached to her clients and the people around her. I found her testimony to be extremely compelling. I remember hearing it back, I guess it was 2018. And at that time, I wasn't completely aware of all of the unique tactics that would be utilized upon me in the future, because they weren't being targeted against me at that time. So I watched the entire video again last night, including after her testimony with ITNJ. You wait a couple of minutes and then she's being interviewed by Sarah Westall. Oh, and that's, by the way, shortly thereafter when my internet went out. Yeah, my internet was out for at least an hour and a half because the criminals were prancing around my property and didn't want to get caught on my videos. Just saying. Yeah, we'll be filing a report with the local internet company about how many times I don't have internet. Why should I be paying what I pay for internet service when I probably have the least amount of internet service of anybody in this community? And I'm paying more for extra services. But my internet is always out. So getting back to the commentary is, Mariana provided an exceptional testimony. She was so succinct. And I appreciate that she was able to finally trace it back to her childhood and living in Argentina. Not all of us can trace back what's happening to us to childhood. Many of you have. I don't know that I can trace it back to childhood. I mean, not everything that happens to us in childhood is because we're targeted. I mean, stuff does happen, you know? You're not always going to get a straight A in school. You know, you're not always going to have the best of friends. Life happens. It's not always about being targeted. But the most bizarre incidents that make no mistake, as she mentioned, that she had a very healthy family. No illnesses, no nothing. And for her to have developed these throat issues was an anomaly. And many targeted people mention this. And yes, they target my throat too. It's always the left side. Give me a sore throat. There's no reason for me to have a sore throat here. Like I said, I live in a jungle. I have no contact with anyone. Zero. The only contact that I have with anybody is occasionally the mail person, the Federal Express guy, a landscaper. That's it. Or when a loser perp drives down my driveway and forces me to interact with them. That's it. There's no reason for me to get sick. There's no reason for any of this stuff. Zero. That's why it's being done to me. And I'll say it again, I don't consent. So, army, training, get off my property and go somewhere else. I don't consent. Take off your cloaking devices. Stop setting off my motion sensors. Stop unhinging my internet connection because you're such sorry-ass little weenie boy losers. You've got to target females' private parts while they're sleeping. And yes, I will confirm and not deny that what Mariana stated is absolutely happening to women across the country. And I don't want to get censored by TheTube about some health issues, but I have a lot of theories about some of the medical conditions, the acceleration of certain medical conditions across the country as directly related to assaults by these military-grade weapons. And yes, I will confirm that these weapons are getting into the hands of the wrong people. They could get into the hands of your local government, your local lodges, your local churches. You've got some sinister people in these places. You know, like the symbols that were drawn in the back of my house that by the way, I etched off. One of the subscribers mentioned that it appeared as if it was relating to the Freemasons and that they think that they own me. No, you don't own me, losers. You don't own my property. You don't own me. You might own your weapons. You might own my neighbors, but you don't own me. And I do not consent to any of your illegal, covert experimentation. You want to experiment on me? Pay it up. You pay me for that. And you know what? There ain't a dollar in the world that I would consent to allow you to stick needles in my body, to steal my blood and my DNA. There is not a dollar that you could pay me that would give you permission, that I would give you permission to do that. And that goes for my animals. I don't consent. You want to experiment on somebody? Go experiment on my neighbors. They're already psychopaths. Society would be losing nothing if they would disappear from the planet. Have a field day. So I'm going to end on that note. This is a lot longer than I anticipated. But I'm going to show you what's going on here and how they're destroying the property. And look, digging it up here, you see some roots here? And you see, this is what my soil looks like. This is why it's irreplaceable. You can't replace it. It's mixed with rock. All of this was done by these criminals with their energy weapons. Around here, it's hard to see with all the dead leaves. Here, look at this. And I listened to Weeping Willow's video yesterday about how they're using these weapons and stuff, and she commented on my video, and she said the exact same thing is happening on her property. See, but she's not looking to sell her property. But they're creating holes and caverns on her property also. I want to sell my property and get out of here. But they're banking on me, right? You Freemasons, you local Masons. You want my property, you've got more than enough money to buy it. Where do you think that field came? The new field that they're building. It's on the road where the Freemason Lodge is. I wonder how much money they had to pay for that land. We need a ballpark, a field park. Our bridge is going to collapse here. And after 9 months, this slop mess that was ordered by Judge Shane Gabbard, look at this massive hole. This slop mess. And you'd think with all these weeks of not having any rain, that they would have brought their backhoes or whatever they call them, excavators, and gotten all that rock that fell down, put it back up here? No? Nope. Not in 3 years. They know that in August they can come up here and grab all that rock. I'm not doing it. I'm not touching another rock. And if my property floods, while I'm still here, Jackson County will be sued for this slop mess. Yeah, so keep building your ballpark. Yeah, go allocate hundreds of thousands of dollars to a ballpark that we don't need. Well, you've got these slop messes. And no, also Jackson County, if you're trying to blight my property to take it over by eminent domain, I've already got that covered. I have been documenting this since 2019, including the threat that I received from the local lawyer. Imagine moving to a new property knowing no one and have a county lawyer threaten you with eminent domain because your neighbors are trespassing your property there. That's my third gate, by the way. Third gate. Who needs to install 3 gates in 6 years? Only when you're living here amongst a bunch of greedy, coward losers and a corrupt local government. And I will give a shout out to Hillbilly Crime on YouTube. I didn't watch the entire video. But one of her videos says, Eastern Kentucky is the wild, wild west. And it is. I've said it on my channel. Living here, it's like living in the wild, wild west. People do whatever they damn please. And you see the grease here? Grease here. Grease here. 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 This is all deliberate. Oh, here, look at their little zigzaggy symbol problem, the little symbol grease. See how it goes all the way down here? And then it crisscrosses here. It's a method for them to mark my property, like here. In here. They damage their own streets. They damage their own streets. Just another slop mess here in Jackson County, Kentucky. But anyway, I've got to put out the rest of my trash here. I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for watching that video. I will say that Mariana's testimony is exceptional. I know a lot of newly targeted people will find it sensational and unbelievable. But some of you long-term targets will shake your head, nod your head in agreement that this technology, and that was back in 2018, is off the charts. So I'm going to sign off on that note. I hope everybody's doing well, and I will talk to you guys soon.